Sure, blind faith and pure spirituality in our belief systems can be helpful for us individually, but that is only if we remove the political aspect of group belonging first. Remember, the politics of belonging has the power to rob us of our individual spirituality and make us ignore the calls of our atom of autonomy from within. When we start to go beyond our atom of autonomy and connect with our higher self, not only do we override the politics of belonging, but we may start to feel the true meaning of our metaphorical zone. But then, who will turn their political swords and convert them into plowshares? Well, if you can really reach that depth, your self-esteem alone would stop you from participating in any political groups to fight for the lost love or revenge. Instead, you would lead your group to cultivate true love and start a new era of truly spiritual politics. The political fog clouding your spiritual side can be lifted if you understand your true identity, authority, and place in this sacred picture. Remember, if you don't translate spirituality into physical actions, nothing works, not even our beliefs in God. As an autonomous being, you must always remember that you live with what resides within you every moment of every day. Over time, how you think and believe as an individual truly matters, especially when it comes to your emotions and how politically polluted they may be. If you are not honest and authentic with yourself due to your political affiliations and influences, your spiritual awareness becomes tainted and eventually takes a back seat. This means your personal authenticity is compromised. As I have said before, spirituality or spiritual values do not stick around if they are mixed with the politics of group identity. Remember, you are designed and born to be the CEO of your own life project. Demoting yourself is not a life well lived because you are potentially the big kahuna holding the physicality card. Without you, this spiritual clap makes no sound. So respect yourself, assume your duties, and become that CEO. Spending a lifetime trying to fit in, impress others, and even kill or die for the admiration of your group is politically tainted and spiritually deficient. Most religions allow the politics of group belonging to pollute their spiritual content, leading them to a place where politics and spirituality are openly and shamelessly mixed. While separating them on an individual level can be extremely difficult, it is still possible. It is our individual responsibility to keep our spirituality intact. We are all born with our own exclusive atom of autonomy. Remember, God, spirituality, justice, and humanity are universal, like our need for oxygen, water, food, love, and physically functioning bodies. Logically, these do not and cannot belong exclusively to any particular group of people. They belong to humanity as a whole. You may think you are authentic and spiritual in a specific religious setting, but if your actions are tainted by political or group affiliations rather than advocating for humanity as a whole, you have an individual problem. Remember, you are born into an era that upholds equal individual human rights. Therefore, your group-related beliefs, traditions, customs, rituals, and rules can be questioned by the time and era in which you live. I do not claim to have all the answers, especially concerning our metaphorical realities or life after death. However, I will tell you this. Killing over who is right about the afterlife is fundamentally wrong. Personally, I choose to live in the era I am born into, where I can make choices accordingly. Robbing someone of their physical reality over our metaphorical one is sheer absurdity. Remember, the past is gone, a time when we all believed in belonging to our groups. Today belongs to an era where most of humanity is striving to give and receive equal individual human rights. This means that even our nature is calling us to belong to humanity as a whole, so we can work together to address global issues, from infections to extreme weather to online crimes and everything in between, including the new kid on the block, AI. The future is not here yet, so I can't predict anything for you as a physical reality. Therefore, the power to make changes lies in the present. While you are alive, a physical reality, be honest with yourself and be spiritual. The major issues we face today should be viewed from a broader perspective. Individually, we have a chance to collect some happiness and contentment along the way. Otherwise, we may sacrifice the most important treasure of our mortal lives. Preaching to remain stuck in an era long gone or keeping you anchored in the past serves no purpose other than to help politicians gain power and control over you. If you can't accept the changes that the present has brought, remember that in real reality, you are not alive because of yourself or your group affiliation. Rather, you were born into a time that requires you to adapt. Remember, you have a direct connection to your source within. So if you are born into an era where equal human rights are legitimate, learn to adapt and be helpful. Learn to believe in what keeps you alive and trust in the time and era you are born into, especially if you claim to believe in God. Our evolution has changed everything. So, if you don't feel like you fit in and you are unhappy because of your political influences, it is a personal and individual issue. Resolve it from within without robbing someone of their physical reality. Having a politically tainted point of view is one thing, but doing unto others what you would not want done to you or your loved ones is a spiritual crime, plain and simple. Your ability to make choices came with you from before your birth. So compromising those abilities does not come from God, but from individual weaknesses related to political influences. You cannot solve your personal problems by clinging to an era that has long passed. Belong to the era you are born into, especially if you are politically influenced to live in the past for political purposes. If your logic is emotionally polluted, switch off and seek universal truths like God, spirituality, and humanity as a whole, beyond the boundaries of your race, gender, nation, Oregon religious beliefs. Remember, these are all based on group belonging and are simply political. I have often quoted and even go by the name of the dancing bottle for this reason. If the intoxication was in the alcohol, then the bottle should dance. It's me who drinks the alcohol of God and gets drunk on it. So, even if you are under the influence of godly alcohol, drink socially and avoid getting drunk on the politics of group belonging. If you are under the influence of political group identity and commit dirty deeds for them, remember, you are not sober. Literally sleep it off with logical thinking because you hold an atom of autonomy within. Use it because it grants you the ability to exercise free will and personal justice. You can override the degrading politics of group belonging. Become a CEO of your life so you can find inner peace first, for yourself, for your group, and eventually for humanity as a whole, and even for God's sake.